Problem solving is the act of defining a problem and later implementing a solution.
Clap.
Police station has 51 vehicles of tricycles and cars. The total number of wheels is 167. Find the number of tricycles and cars the station has. So again, the first step is understand the problem or see. So by reading it again and again, you're probably able to have a possible solution and you're able to really understand the given problem. So here, we are talking about vehicles and that are tricycles and cars. So here we're able to represent these two vehicles as X be the number of tricycles and Y be the number of cars. Okay, the second step is devise a plan. So we already knew that X is for the tricycle and Y is for the car. So again, in devise a plan, let us have a best strategy to be applied in this problem. So we know that we have 51 vehicles and 167 wheels. So we're going to create the equation. By doing the equation, let us just read and follow the sentence and able to draw a equation from these sentences. So a police station has 51 vehicles. So we know if we try to add tricycles and cars, there are 51. So we have now x plus y equals 51. Now if we're going to add their wheels, we have 167. But the problem here is the tricycle has 3 wheels and the car has 4 wheels. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the tricycle by 3 and the car by 4 because that is the number of wheels in each vehicle. So we have now 3x plus 4y equals 167. So we know that if we have equation, it's very far enough to solve the value of x or to solve the value of y. So let us have now the third step. Okay, so since we have already the two equation, we're going to equate equation 1 or equate equation 2. So let us just have another equation from equation 1. Here I want to express equation 1 in terms of x so that I have right now the equation 3. Simply just transfer or transpose y to other side, it becomes negative. That is how I able to get the equation 3. So I am going to equate equation 3 to equation 2. That would be the solution. And just bring down the equation 2, part of the given, and substitute all the value of x by 51 minus y we have here by substitution. Then right after that, I am going to multiply 3 to the terms inside the parentheses. So right now I have 153 minus 3y plus 4y equals 167. That is by distribution. So since I am looking for the y, I am going to do the simplification on the y's part, or that is the variable of y, and constant to side as well. So I am going to transpose 153 to other side. We call it as transposition. Since negative 3y plus 4y is y or 1, so we have now y equals to 167 minus 153. So this time I will able to get the value of y by simply subtracting them. So the final answer is 14. In this case, I able to give the value for the y. So right now, in order for me to solve for the value of x, I am going to use the equation 2 and simply putting an equation or creating an equation out of the equation 2. So since I able to get the value of y, this time I am going to express the equation 2 in terms of y. So I have here y equation 4 equals y 167 minus 3x over 4. How? Simply, I just transfer 3x to other side, it becomes negative 3x. So I'm so concerned with the y, I am going to divide whole equation by 4. So right now, I have the equation 4. So the same process, I am going to equate equation 4 to equation 1 to solve for the value of x. So this time, I am going to use equation 1, bring down equation 1 rather, and then substitute all the value of y. Okay, from equation 4, so I have here. Then do the multiplication. Why? Because I really need to remove or to rid of the fraction term here. So by multiplying the whole equation by 4. Then after that, by distribution, I have 4x plus 167 minus 3x equals 204. Okay, so this time I am going to put all the variable in one side as well as all the constant to the other side. So transposing 167 to the other side, it becomes negative 167. So since 4x minus 3x is x, so the final answer is 37. So in this case, I able to get the value of y, which is 14, and the value of x equals 37. So therefore, the number of tricycles is 37, the number of cars is 14. Let's do the checking here. So I will use the equation 1 and 2, and of course, just try to substitute the value of x here. So since the number of vehicles is 51, so 37 plus 14 is 51. Since the number of, or the total, or the sum of the wheels is 167, 3 times 37 plus 4 times 14. Okay, simplify everything. So 51 equals 51, check. Then let us have further do the simplification here. Then it finds out that they are the same. Problem number 4. The Super Ferry ship is traveling 45 miles per hour north of the Philippines, while the Negros navigation ship is traveling 30 miles per hour west of the Philippines. What time will the two ships be 900 miles apart if they both depart from the same point at 2:16 p.m.? Understand the problem. We understand the problem by putting all the important details as follows. We knew that there are two ships which will be leaving the same point in a separate way or opposite direction at 2:16 p.m. Ferry is going to north with a rate of 45 miles per hour, while the Negros navigation is moving to west with a rate of 30 miles per hour. In this problem, we are asked to find the time which will these two ships be 900 miles apart. So let t be the time when two ships is 900 miles apart. Devise a plan. After evaluating and examining this problem, we come up with the best strategy, and that is using the drawing and the Pythagorean formula. We knew that Silver Ferry is heading northern part of the Philippines with a rate of 45 miles per hour, while the Negros navigation ship is moving towards the western part of the Philippines with a rate of 30 miles per hour. These two ships started their journey at 2:16 p.m. After a certain time, the two ships will be 900 miles apart. Definitely, this figure will show us that we can apply a Pythagorean theorem which states that c squared equals a squared plus b squared. Carry out the plan. We're going to use all the details on how we plan the problem. So let's now use the formula as follow. So we know c refers to 900 miles, so we can substitute as 900 square equals a square is, it could be Negros or it could be Ferry. In this case, we're going to use the Negros as our A, okay, square, plus 45 miles per hour. Since we are asked to solve for the time, we're going to put t inside of this parenthesis, 30t square, 45t square. That is this 900, and we're going to compute it. That is 900t square plus square of 45 is 2025t square. That is the 900. Okay, so 900 plus this, it becomes 2925 t square. Since we are asked to solve for t, then we're going to square root both sides. So we have square root of 900 square equals square root of 2925 t square. So cancel, so we have now 900. Here t, cancel the square of t. Then 2925 square root is 54.08, rounded up to the nearest hundreds. Then we're going to divide both sides by 54.08 to get the value of t. And so the t value here, or the time which these two ships will be 900 miles apart, is 16.64 hours. Okay, so let's convert 0.64 as minutes. So by simply multiply the 64 by 60 minutes, then we have 39 minutes. Round up the one's value so that we can have now 39 minutes. Therefore, if they started leaving the same point at 2:16 p.m., we're going to add it to the 16 hours and 39 minutes. We can have this time 6 and 55 a.m. How? From 2 p.m. to 12 a.m. we need 10 hours. So since 16 hours, we still have 6 hours. So just add it, we have 6 a.m. But there are 16 minutes and 39 minutes. Add it up, so we have now 55 a.m. Therefore, the time which these two ships will be 900 miles apart will be the next day at the time of 6:55 a.m. Best strategy to be used is working backward. Let us read together. Claire has a certain amount of money in her bank account on Friday morning. During the day, she wrote a check for 24.50 pesos, made an ATM withdrawal of 80 pesos, and deposited a check for 235 pesos. At the end of the day, she saw that her balance was 451.25 pesos. How much money did she have in the bank at the beginning of the day? So again, let us have the first step of George Polya, the understanding the problem, and the keyword is C. So in this case, what we're going to do, or what we're going to apply as strategy, is what we call working backward. So meaning to say, we're going to do the end to start process. So we cannot have the right answer if we're going to start it at the beginning. In short, we're going to start the solution from the end to the beginning. Okay, so here we have the given 24.50 as the check, 80 pesos for the ATM withdrawal, and 235 pesos for the check deposit. So what is being asked in the problem? So we are asked to get the money she had in the bank at the beginning of the day. Okay, so the second step is devise a plan. Okay, in devising a plan, it's better to bring down all the necessary information in this way. So let's start with the end, which is the 451.25 pesos. Then there are some operation to be used here, and the operation to be used is opposite to the given action. Like for instance, start from 451.25 pesos because that is her balance. Then we're going to subtract it to 235 pesos because in the reality, she made a deposit. Okay, I mean, he made a check, which is to deposited a check rather for 235 pesos. But in a working backward, instead of adding it, it will becomes subtracting it or deducting it. So that is the opposite work when we have the backward process. Now here, instead of in reality, you're going to get the money from your bank, which is 80 pesos. In backward, you're going to add it. So it's a total opposition to the given action when it comes to the operation to be used. Then lastly, when you wrote a check, you are supposed to get some money from your bank. So here, you simply add it. These are the process for you to solve the certain amount of money she had at the beginning of the day or that morning, Friday morning. Okay, so this is the balance deposited, this is withdrawal, and this is check. Okay, so let us have now the third step, carry out the plan. The keyword is do. So, simply, just follow the sequence, bring down 451.25, subtract means minus, add means plus, and of course, add it. So basically, if we try to simplify it using our own calculator or um, or using our notes for the manual computation, we will arrive at 320.75 pesos. So let us now look back, which is checking and interpreting your answer. So by simply knowing that the amount of money she had at the beginning of the day on Friday morning, she must have 320.75 pesos. So this times in the part of checking, we're going to do the process from the start until the end. So since 320.75 subtracted to 24.50 because she wrote a check, then you're going to another subtraction because she made an ATM withdrawal. Then right after that is addition because he put some money by depositing it, amount of 235. So since the balance at the end of that day is 451.25, then that really satisfy the given equation. So that is what the function of using working backward as the strategy in solving a worded problem. So again, I hope you have a clear understanding on what would be the right way or steps in using the working backward process. Okay, so this time, let us have the fifth problem, and that is about drawing pictures and diagrams as the strategy in solving it. So here we have two cars left at 8 o'clock a.m. from the same point, one traveling east at 50 miles per hour and other traveling south at 60 miles per hour. At what time will they be 300 miles apart? So again, read it more than once so that you can have a partial picture on how to solve this problem. So understand the problem. These are now the given. We know that there are two cars who left the same station at 8 o'clock a.m. with a speed of 50 miles per hour going to east, the first car, and as well as we have 60 miles per hour going to south as the car 2 speed. and they are in a certain time, there will be 300 miles apart. In short, the required is the time when they will be 300 miles apart. So in this case, we're able to really understand that we are trying to solve for the certain time which these two cars will be 300 miles apart, having a speed of 50 miles per hour going to east and 60 miles per hour going to south. So let us have the second step. Devise a plan. So better to draw it or make some diagram for us to give a clear visual on what we are really trying to solve. So here we have the first car going to east, second car is going to south. Okay, so here as we notice, their travels form a right triangle. And if it is a right triangle, obviously you can apply a theorem, and we call it as Pythagorean theorem. So in this case, we have x be the first car speed and y be the second car speed. So using this all, we can draw this kind of numbers. So since the first car going to east with the speed of 50 miles per hour, so we can write it in this way, 50 t or time. Then since the second is 60 miles per hour, then we can write it as 60 time. Okay, t is for the time. So we're going to use all the equation to solve for the value of the t or the time required for them to have 300 miles apart. Of course, with the use of Pythagorean theorem because it forms a right angle here. Okay, let us now carry out the plan. So still we have the Pythagorean theorem, we have the value of x and the value of y. Solution is, of course, bring down the Pythagorean theorem. Then before we're going to do the substitution, let us try to extract first or remove first the radical symbol by raising all equation to the power of 2. And it becomes 9,000 x squared plus y squared. So we're able to remove the radical symbol and squaring the 300, it becomes 9,000. So here, we're able to simplify it. Then right after that, we can now use the value of x and the value of y by substitution. So since we know that if we're going to multiply 50 itself and t itself, we have 2,500 t squared as well as 3,600 t squared. Retain equal 9,000. Then since t squared and t squared, they have the same variable as well as exponent, we can add them. We can simplify them. So it becomes 6,100 t squared. Then we are very concerned with the time required. So we're going to divide all equation first by numerical coefficient as 6,100. So what we have right now is like this. Then right after that, we can remove the 6,100 to t squared side. So we have t squared equals 900 over 6,100. Then we're going to remove the to the power of 2 by square root all the equation. Okay, so we have radicalizing the equation. So we have like this. We know that the final answer using our calculator is 3.84 hours or 3 hours and 51 minutes. So right now, we're able to solve the given time. Okay, so how we able to say that the time required for them to have 300 miles apart? Simply, okay, you're going to add the result time to 8 o'clock a.m. That is 3 hours and 51 minutes. So you add them, the answer is 11:51 a.m. So at exactly 11:51 a.m., the two cars will be 300 miles apart. The problem here is, how did you get 51 minutes from 3.84 hours? So just follow this. We know in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. So simply, the 0.84 that is in the hour form you're going to multiply it by 60, and this is 50.4. Since zero point 0.4 is more than 50 minutes, so you're going to round it up as 51 because it's more than 50. So that is 51. That makes it as 11:51 a.m. Making lists and tables as part of our strategy to solve the sixth problem. Okay, let us read together. An algebra test consists of 10 multiple choice questions. 10 points are given for each correct answer, and 3 points are deducted for each incorrect answer. If Joshua did all questions and scored 22 points, how many correct answers did he have? So again, the best way to solve this problem is to use the step 1, which is the understanding the problem. Okay, the keyword is see. So if you're going to read it more than once, probably you're able to draw or picture out the possible solution. So right now, let us try to bring down all the different elements or important elements for us to for us to know the possible solution. Okay, we have our given 10 questions answered. Score is equals 22, 10 points for each correct answer, 3 points deducted for each incorrect answers. So as you can see, you're going to answer all the items, which is 10 questions. And right after everything, the score that you must have is 22, considering that for every correct answer, that is 10 points, an incorrect answer will be deducted from that score, which is 3 points. So here, what is the required? Of course, the number of correct answers. Anyway, if we're able to know the number of correct answers, we can also solve the number of incorrect answers for us to have a score of 22. Okay, let us have devise a plan. So since it is making list and table as part of the strategy to solve this problem, so we're going to let the x be the number of correct answer and y be the number of incorrect answer. Okay, so the number of correct answer x plus number of incorrect answer y equals score. Okay, so here score equals to 10x plus negative 3y, or simply as score equals 10x minus 3y. How? Because for every correct, the corresponding score is 10. For every incorrect, the corresponding score is 3 points deducted for that point. Okay, so here, how to carry out the plan is, of course, we're going to use the table. So how can we formulate the numbers or the score in each table? So since the required is we're going to answer all the 10 items, assuming that in all items you're able to get all correctly. So 10 is the number of correct, 0 is the number of correct, so 10 times 10 is 100, minus 3 times 0 is 100. Okay, so that is 100 minus 0 is 100. So right now is if you have make it 9 as correct, and of course 1 to make it 10, so 9 times 10 is 90, 1 times 3 is 3, then 90 minus 3 is 87. The same as here, 8 times 10 is 80, minus 2 times 3 is 6, that is 80 minus 6 is 74. Okay, so do the same process as you go down on the given rows. Okay, so for us not to be misled about the order of the numbers, let us try to do it in a descending order. So of course, right after the 7, it should be 6. If it is 7, it should be 3 would be the incorrect, so that it will equal to 10 items. Then if it is 6, you're going to add it by 4 to make it 10. So if in order for you to get the score, simply substitute all the values of x and y on the given equation. So 6 times 10, that is 60. 4 times 3, that is 12. 60 minus 12 is 48. The same as here, if we have 5. 5 times 10, 50. 5 times 3, 15. 50 minus 15 is 35. And lastly, we have 4 times 10 is 40. 3 times 6 is 18. 40 minus 18 is 22. Then we're able to get the 22 points. That is how we able to have the right answer. In short, from the table you can see that Joshua, who scored 22 points, must have 4 correct answers and 6 incorrect ones. So Joshua had 4 correct answers. Okay, so look back, check, and interpret. For Joshua, x is equals to 4 and y equals to 6. So 4 plus 6 is 10 items, multiple choice. That's it. And therefore, if we're going to multiply 4 by 10, we have 40. If we're going to multiply 3 to 6, we have 18. Okay, then do the simplification, we have 22. On May 8, 2022, Justice Mark has a certain amount in his bank account. That day, he withdraws 5,100 pesos from his ATM. After a few hours, he deposits a total of 12,450 pesos. Using his passbook, and then writes a check for 7,900 pesos. He checks his balance at the end of the day and sees that it is 8,480 pesos. How much money did he have in the bank when the day began? Understand the problem. We can understand the problem by simply list down all the important details as follow. We knew that Justice Mark has a certain amount, so we put it as let X be the certain amount. Then let's do the transaction made by Justice Mark that day. So first withdraws amount of 5,100. He deposited a total of 12,450. Then he made a check amounting 7,900. Then he checks his balance, which has an amount of 8,480 pesos. Devise a plan. After examining and evaluating the problem, we're able to come up with a best strategy to be used in this problem, and that is the usage of equation and the working backward method. We can drop the information as follow. So we have a certain amount that is denoted as X, withdraws, which is an amount of 5,100, deposits, that is 12,450, made a check amounting 7,900, and the balance after that day is 8,480. Let's do the operation here. When we say withdraw, that is minus. When we say deposit, plus. Check, minus, and the balance is equal. Carry out the plan. After having these details, we're going to use the information by applying the working backward method. And that is, we're going to start from the balance going to the certain value. And that is, we're going to bring down 8,480, reverse of minus, that is plus 7,900, minus 12,450, plus 5,100 to get the value of X. This time, we're going to solve for X. So, simply, we're going to add 8,480 plus 7,900. And then, we're going to subtract it to 12,450 and finally add to 5,100 to get the value of X. Here we can do the simultaneous operation. We're going to add, and here we're going to subtract. So 8,480 plus 7,900 is 16,380. Negative 12,450 plus 5,100, we have 7,350. And finally, 16,380 minus 7,350 is 9,030 pesos. So this is the certain amount of Justice Mart on May 8, 2022. Look back. In this part, we're going to check whether our answer is right or wrong by doing the checking. So let's do the checking here. Okay, let's put 9,030 minus the original equation is 5,100 plus 12,450 minus 7,900 equals 8,480. We're going to put question mark here so that because we don't know yet if it is right or wrong. Let's do the simultaneous operation here. So 9,030 minus 5,100 equals 3,930, while 12,450 minus 7,900 is 4,550. Okay, so bring down addition. Now 3,930 plus 4,550 will yield an amount of 8,480, which means they are the same. Therefore, 9,030 pesos is correct.